Do you believe in God, and who is God to you?
Yes, I believe in God. And God to me is my creator. He's my friend, someone I turn to in times of need and also in times of thanks.
Describe your relationship with God.
Ooh, well, probably like most people, it can always be better, but I talk to God every day, whether it's God himself or God as part of the Trinity, Jesus and the Holy Spirit.
Describe how you pray or connect to God.
And well, I try and say prayers in the morning when I wake up and before I go to bed. I try and go to morning prayers at St. John Vianney 2 or 3 times a week, as well as Mass, 2 or 3 times a week, daily Mass. So I try and do that. And then anytime that something happens, whether I'm driving in the car or watching grandkids play or whatever, I try and thank God all the time just for the blessings he's given to me.
When have you felt closest to God?
That's a tough one. When have I felt closest to God? You know, I guess it's easy for people to feel close to God when things are always going great. And certainly I feel close to God then. But sometimes, you know, if things aren't going so well and it seems like no one's willing to listen to you, you know, God is always there to listen to you. And at those times, I feel very close to him.
Why do you look up to their relation? Who do you look up to for their relationship with God?
My wife, Paula, she's always been an inspiration to me. And I converted to Catholicism partly because of the way I watched her interact with our kids. And she grew up as a Catholic, but also a very devout Catholic and a very close relationship with God. So she's been an example to me.
Which Christian denomination do you belong to?
I'm Catholic, although I was raised as a Baptist.
Why do you belong to that church?
Well, like I said, my wife was a big inspiration to me, and as well as my kids, because they grew up Catholic. And while my faith wasn't real strong when they were younger, watching Paula with them and watching them and the things they learned helped me to get more interested again into what Catholicism was and learning more about the Trinity, learning more about Jesus and his holy presence in the Eucharist and things like that, and it made a whole lot of sense to me.
What do you remember about the faith of your parents?
Well, I grew up, like I said, in the Baptist church, and they were very strong Baptists. We went to church every Sunday and every Sunday night and every Wednesday, and usually sometimes on Tuesday and Thursday for different activities at the church. So the church was a very big part of the social fabric of our family. But they loved Jesus, and that's the way they brought me up, and so it was very easy for me to convert to Catholicism because that background was already there.
What impact has your membership in the church had upon you?
Well, you know, everyone's impact can be different based upon how much they want to put into it. So once I decided to become active in the church and become involved in different ministries, and you learn more about the faith, but you also get to meet so many people, and you see how many other people and Christians there are. You get to have discussions about different things. So, you know, a big impact for me is just being involved, meeting so many more people, and being able to have a relationship with those people.
What do you think are your most important obligations as a member of the church?
Well, our obligations are to never forget that we were created by God and we owe him everything. So that's one of the most important things, but also to be able to serve others. As Jesus said, love others as I love you. And so that's what I try and do, is treat other people the way we want to treat, and that's the biggest obligation we have to the church, is to be a good example to others. So that, you know, it doesn't do any good to say you're a Christian if you go out and go slug some guy in the next block over, you know, some argument. So you got to live the faith, and that's the biggest obligation we have.
Have you ever considered working for your church as a minister or other religious person?
Yes, when I retired from work, I considered becoming a deacon. Prayed a lot about that, but that didn't work out. But I do serve as an acolyte at church, as well as I'm very involved in other different ministries at their church. So not necessarily a deacon or someone with orders, but just becoming involved as much as I can.